In a stunning turn of events, multiple trusted financial sources and currency monitoring platforms are confirming that the Iraqi Dinar, IQD, is now reflecting a live rate of $2.25. This is not just a minor adjustment, but a historic leap for a currency that has 4 decades been undervalued due to war, sanctions, and economic instability for investors. This development is more than exciting, and it represents the possible start of the long-awaited revaluation RV. Analysts suggest that this figure may be the initial contract rate, with potential adjustments depending on market response and Iraq's fiscal policies in the coming weeks. The path leading up to this moment has been long and full of speculation. Iraq has spent years rebuilding its political system, banking sector, and international relations to create the conditions for a stronger currency. Since 2003, the IQD has been pegged at artificially low rates. However, with Iraq increasing oil exports, diversifying its economy, and implementing stricter anti-corruption and monetary policies, the stage was set for a global reset. The $2.25 confirmation suggests that these reforms are finally paying off. It also sends a clear message to the world that Iraq is determined to reclaim its economic influence in the Middle East and beyond. The impact of the $2.25 rate is being felt across investment communities worldwide. Currency holders, many of whom have waited patiently for over a decade, are now experiencing a surge of confidence. Social media and online investor forums are buzzing with excitement, while major financial news outlets are starting to highlight the development. If the rate holds, early investors could see massive returns, potentially reshaping personal wealth and even entire portfolios. However, seasoned traders are urging caution, noting that currency values can be volatile in the early stages of a revaluation. The revaluation also opens the door for larger institutional investors who previously stayed away from the dinar due to its instability. Now, banks, hedge funds, and global markets may look at Iraq as a viable investment destination. The confirmation of the $2.25 IQD rate is not just a headline, actively reshaping how banks and financial institutions are preparing behind the scenes. According to multiple reports, Tier 1 international banks and regional financial centers are already updating their exchange platforms to accommodate the new rates. Some banks have quietly launched internal memos to their staff, instructing them on procedures for dinar exchanges. This includes everything from identity verification for large transactions to ensuring liquidity management, as sudden inflows of currency can put pressure on their reserves. While not all banks have gone public with announcements, insiders suggest that many are holding trial runs of exchange systems to prepare for high demand. On the global stage, reactions are equally significant. Trading hubs, Forex traders in Dubai, London, and New York are already monitoring IQD charts with heightened interest. Volatility is expected in the short term as markets adjust to the new reality. Energy markets. Since Iraq is one of the world's largest oil exporters, a stronger dinar could alter how oil contracts are negotiated. Some analysts believe that future oil trade agreements may begin to settle directly in IQD instead of US dollars, signaling a paradigm shift in energy markets. Neighboring economies. Countries like Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey are likely to feel ripple effects as cross-border trade with Iraq becomes more valuable and balanced. A strong Iraqi economy could also encourage foreign infrastructure investments across the Middle East. Western investors. In the US and Europe, hedge funds and private investors are weighing whether this revaluation could trigger a wider wave of currency adjustments, especially with the Vietnamese dong VND often rumored to follow Iraq's lead. Perhaps most telling is the cautious stance from global regulators like the IMF and World Bank. While they have yet to issue an official statement, many expect them to push for continued fiscal discipline in Iraq to ensure the revaluation is sustainable and not just a temporary spike. In short, the world's financial community is watching Iraq like never before. The $2.25 confirmation has not only validated years of speculation, but has also positioned Iraq as a serious contender in the global financial arena. The confirmation of the $2.25 IQD rate has sparked waves of excitement and, in some cases, anxiety within the global investor community. For years, currency holders and financial gurus debated whether Iraq would ever make such a bold move. Now that the rate is officially recognized, emotions across the investment world are running at an all-time high. 1. Retail investors, IQD holders. Ordinary individuals who have been holding dinar for years. Decades are now experiencing a moment they believed might never come. Online forums, Telegram groups, and social media platforms are buzzing with stories of people planning their first exchanges. Many are discussing strategies. Whether to exchange immediately at $2.25 or wait in hopes of a potential float higher. 2. Market speculators. Short-term traders and speculators see the revaluation as a golden opportunity. With such a significant price shift, many expect volatility in forex markets, which could mean quick profits for those skilled at timing trades. Some hedge funds have already positioned themselves to take advantage of derivative plays linked to Middle Eastern currencies. 3. Long-term investors. Institutional investors and wealth managers are taking a more cautious stance. While the revaluation is undeniably historic, they are concerned with stability and sustainability. Questions like, will Iraq maintain fiscal discipline? And how will oil markets adjust to a stronger IQD? Dominate private strategy discussions in investment circles. Perhaps the biggest shift is psychological. What was once considered a dream scenario by many has now materialized, instilling renewed confidence in high-risk, high-reward investments. This moment could embolden investors to explore other undervalued currencies, with the Vietnamese Dong VND at the top of that list. 5. Fear of missing out, FOMO. As with any sudden market movement, fear of missing out is pushing many to act quickly. Some latecomers are rushing to acquire dinar even after the rate jump, believing it could climb further. Financial experts, however, warn against impulsive decisions, emphasizing the need for professional guidance before making large transactions. In summary, investor sentiment is at a fever pitch. For some, this is the payday of a lifetime. For others, it's a signal to tread carefully in a rapidly evolving market. One thing is certain. The Iraqi Dinar revaluation has ignited one of the most dramatic investor responses in modern currency history. The Iraqi Dinar's confirmation at $2.25 per IQD marks a historic turning point, not only for Iraq, but for the entire global currency landscape. Years of speculation, doubt, and waiting have culminated in a development that is reshaping the financial outlook for investors, governments, and institutions worldwide. Iraq's move signals more than just an increase in currency value. It represents a renewed confidence in the country's economy, political stability, and international credibility. As banks begin to adjust to the new rate, markets across the globe are responding, setting the stage for new trade opportunities and deeper foreign investment in Iraq. At the same time, investor reactions reveal a market in transition. Some are celebrating what feels like a once-in-a-lifetime financial breakthrough, while others remain cautious, wary of potential risks and future volatility. The buzz around the Iraqi dinar also brings fresh attention to the Vietnamese dong, which many believe could be the next currency to undergo a dramatic revaluation. Looking ahead, the critical question remains: will the IQD hold steady at $2.25? Or is this just the beginning of an upward climb? While no one can predict the exact trajectory, one effect is undeniable. This moment has shattered old doubts and created new possibilities for global investors. The Iraqi dinar revaluation is not just financial news. It's a historic event that will be remembered as a milestone in currency markets for holders of the dinar and observers worldwide. The message is clear. The era of speculation is over, and the era of realized value has begun.